Buckmeister, Village, your boy Buckmeister, twice the nice that you are used to, show Blemson, and today we are talking Rick and Morty, Season 5, Episode 9 and 10. So hi, if you're new here, my name is Buckmeister Cool from Meister Geek Media. I talk all sorts of geek media, from the comic books and the superheroes to the animes and the sci-fis and all of that good stuff. So please feel free to tickle that subscribe button and that bell button so you never miss a video. So Rick and Morty, 9 and 10, yeah, man. These were two very interesting episodes. So let's talk about them a little bit. So in episode 9, we get a huge change in Rick's relationship with Morty. Like, Rick is owning up to a lot of his faults, which is very, very weird. I don't know how people are gonna react to that, especially like OG Rick and Morty fans. Because Rick never actually does. I mean, yeah, you get scenes where he's, trying to feel a little bit suicidal, or he's feeling a little bit sad, or whatever. But Rick never actually owns up to it, especially in front of his family. So, yeah, he has a big moment where he does that in episode 9, and yeah, it feeds into other things. But, like, it was very interesting to see. Like, I don't know if people are getting this sense, but maybe it's like Dan Harmon is kind of done writing, because this doesn't feel like Dan Harmon is writing it in a sense. I mean, yeah, it still feels very nihilistic and very, all of that stuff, but it feels very different from what Rick and Morty was from the past, and I don't know how people are going to feel about that. Like, they might be leaning on the extreme where it's like, this is great character progression. They might be leaning on the opposite side where they're just like, man, this was underwhelming. I'm kind of in the middle trying to decide, where I sit in this whole thing. Because, I mean, I'm a Rick and Morty fan, but I'm not a huge fanatic. I'm not a fanatic. So, yeah, I enjoy the character progression, but it does feel different, especially with what they're doing with Rick. Also, Morty, like, they're making Morty way more self-reliant and self-independent, and that's a huge theme going out through this whole season 5 in general, and especially in these two episodes. Like, Morty's dependency or independency is very much highlighted in these two episodes, but we'll get to that. I do want to say though that this is officially an anime now. This is officially an anime. Like, Rick is an anime protagonist at this point. Like, I'm just saying, he's got the power of friendship going on. He's got the mecha suit battles going on. Like, I don't know. It feels like very heavily anime influenced, and I'm very intrigued as to how that happened. Is it because anime is like really, really popping right now? Because if that's the case, hey, I do not mind it. Like, there's some moments in here where I'm just like, this is straight anime. Like, this is straight Hokuto. Damn it, how do you say it again? I forget. Fist of the North Star, Hokuto Shiniken. I think that's how you say it in Japanese. I don't know, don't speak Japanese. But yeah, there's some straight Fist of the North Star moments in here. There's some straight samurai not shampoo, I guess. But like some straight samurai anime stuff happening in this. And I was just like, I wonder why those choices were made. Then we get to episode 10. So episode 10 is going to be the big one, because episode 9, it's not that it's throwaway. There's a lot of good stuff happening in episode 9, but a lot of the stuff that people are going to be talking about is in episode 10. So episode 10, I don't know if it was in the promos or anything, but like, people have been asking for it. So I if you have not watched it and you were a fan of this character and you're just like, man, they're not doing anything with him, he's back. Evil Morty is back in episode 10, and it's very, very interesting as to why he comes back and all of that good stuff. So in episode 10, they kind of acknowledge the whole thing. They try to just like breeze past it, but then you get a little bit more insight into quote unquote Evil Morty, and like, you get to see that his whole thing is pretty interesting in the sense that he's just trying to, I guess it's the whole thing of trying to break away from Rick, or the reality that houses Rick, or it's some crazy pseudoscience that I'm still trying to wrap my head around. But like, yeah, you'll see it in the episode where like his plan is not what you thought it was, and I guess for people who were wanting something a little bit more from Evil Morty, maybe you get it or maybe you don't. Again, like this whole season 5 has been a mixed bag because like people, like it's a toss up in all of those things. So depending on which side you fall on, you might be like, yeah, this is fantastic, or man, that was underwhelming. I'm again in the middle, but it was cool to see evil Morty back. We also learn a little bit about like the purpose of a Morty or whatever the case is, and all of that stuff, and why it has to be Morty. Because as soon as it's not Morty, things get thrown out of whack. So yeah, it's like trying to see why it has to be Morty. Because again, Rick doesn't. Well, Rick is an interesting case in where he says he doesn't need people, but he really does. So maybe that's the whole exercise and experiment here. We also get into Rick's past. Like we get to learn some secrets about Rick himself. And yeah, we get to see certain things with Rick where it's like the way he treats his family is we get to understand why. Like it's a very short, montagey moment, but like you get to see that the way the reason why Rick is the way he is, especially prime or C, what they say, C-136 or 137, I can't remember the classification, but the Rick that we know, we get to see why he is the way that he is, in a sense that he loves his family, but they're disposable. But like he doesn't want to dispose of the one that he's attached himself to, certain sort of thing. So you get to get some more insight. Like there's a lot of digging into Rick's psychosciousness. Am I trying to make a new psychosis? Trying to make a new word there. Psychosciousness. But anyway, digging into Rick's psychosis and understanding, Rick's relation to his family, they highlight that a lot in this episode 10. So yeah, it was very interesting to see the dynamics shift between Morty and Rick. It's very interesting to see Rick be a little bit more flawed, or way more flawed than he's ever been. Because yeah, I mean, it's only a flaw when you admit to it, right? But no, actually, that's not how that works. But like, I'm just saying, in terms of like a person like Rick or a narcissist like Rick, until they admit it, then it's not a problem. So yeah, I'm mixed on this. I guess I gotta see where they go with it and everything. But yeah, it was a very interesting finale for this season, and yeah, it did a lot of cool things. But I guess it's leaving me with how you say ruminative perplexity. Fancy English for I'm still deciding how I feel about it, because I don't think it was terrible, but I think there was just some parts that were a little bit underwhelming for me personally. So what do you think, Meisterville? Let me know in the comment section down below. Talk us to your boy. Have you watched Rick and Morty season 5 episode 9 and 10? How do you feel about the Rick and Morty series in general? And please, no spoilers and all of that good stuff. And if you're at this point in the video, I want to say thank you so much for getting to this point in the video. You are spectacular. Now, if you really like this video, I got another one up here. I got a playlist down there, and I got an icon you can click on to subscribe. Remember to ring the bell if you do subscribe, and I'll see you all in another video, because my stream's gotta be out. Peace.